Welcome back to the Wisdom Within. I'm Lara Jaye. Today, we're talking about where trauma actually lives in your body and how to release it. Make sure you stay tuned towards the end for the light language clearing on today's episode as well. And you may have heard the phrase or even the book called The Body Keeps the Score. But what does that really mean? How does unhealed trauma live in your cells, in your tissues, and in the patterns you carry without even realizing it? This conversation isn't just about science. It's about how you can begin to listen to your body, release what's been stored for decades, and finally feel safe enough to expand into the life that you're here to live. Because here's the truth. Trauma isn't just a memory in your mind. It's an energy, an imprint in your actual DNA that your body has been holding on to, sometimes for decades or generations. And until we release it, it can just keep running the show and running the show and running your life. Release is possible. In fact, your body already knows the way. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the science, the signs, and most importantly, the practices that help you let go so you can feel lighter, freer, and way more at peace in your own skin. So trauma isn't actually just an event. It's an imprint that event leaves behind. It leaves it behind in your nervous system, your cells, and even your DNA. So when you experience something overwhelming, your body immediately shifts into survival mode. Your nervous system floods with stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. And if you don't have the safety or support to process what's happening, that energy doesn't just disappear. It actually gets stored in our body. So think of it like this. Every unresolved trauma is like a file your body keeps open. And because your system doesn't feel complete, it stays hyper alert, ready to protect you in case it ever happens again. And over time, these unprocessed experiences, they can show up as muscle tension that will never release, digestive issues, chronic inflammation, migraines, chronic fatigue, even patterns in relationships like shutting down, over-pleasing, picking partners who mirror your earliest wounds. Science now shows us trauma isn't just psychological, it's biological. It lives in our fascia, in the connective tissue, in the very chemistry of every one of your cells. And if we don't release it, the body keeps whispering louder and louder and louder until it demands attention. So for me, growing up with generations of alcohol abuse was just one of the traumas that I experienced. It made quite a mark on me. I knew what a scotch on the rocks with a twist was long before I was in school. And as a child of two alcoholics, I learned very early 3 unspoken rules. Don't trust, don't feel, and definitely don't talk. And one of my superpowers was that I could read the room like nobody's business. Every minute, my unconscious job was to read my parents' emotions, and based on how they were feeling, I would go to work. So my job was to keep peace at all costs. This is actually very normal for a child of an alcoholic. They learn at a young age that their emotional and sometimes physical survival depends upon understanding and following these unspoken rules. I have an entire chapter about this story in chapter 2 of my book, The Wisdom Within. So as an adult on the outside, I looked fine. I was achieving, performing, checking all the boxes, got married, had kids, but inside my body was storing years of unspoken words, tension, and a lot of fear. So my shoulders always ached, my gut was in knots, had a lot of digestive issues. I lived in a constant state of hypervigilance, all of this without even knowing it. I have actually been sick, very sick since I was 8 years old. And at one time, I had 17 different health diagnoses. Adverse childhood experiences, also called ACEs, such as abuse, neglect, household dysfunction, have been strongly linked to long-term health consequences. Research shows that the higher a person's ACE score, the greater their risk of developing chronic physical and mental health conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune, depression, anxiety, and on. Early adversity disrupts brain development, stress response systems, and even gene expression, creating these lasting imprints on our nervous system and immune function. Some of, for me, was inherited. Yes, trauma passed down through the generations, through behavior, but it also passes down through biology. Science calls this epigenetics. The stress patterns of our parents and grandparents can literally shape the way our genes express in our bodies. So that means when you feel chronic anxiety or you can't quite relax, or you notice the same destructive patterns repeating in your family line, I want you to know it's not your fault. It's not about blaming. Your body is simply carrying information that hasn't been released yet. So the good news is you can change this story. You can reteach your body safety. You can rewrite this cellular memory. It wasn't until I began practicing nervous system regulation and energy clearing that I felt a shift. Release didn't happen in my mind, though. It happened in my body. The trembling, the tears, the deep breaths, the waves of energy moving through me. My body finally got the memo. You don't have to hold this anymore. So how do you know if trauma is living in your body? Well, here are a few signs. Persistent body pain or health issues without a clear medical cause. Your body speaks when words fail. Number 2, emotional overreactions. When a small trigger causes a big response, it's usually an old wound being activated. Number 3, numbing or disconnecting. Always needing noise, busyness, or distraction because silence feels unsafe. Patterns of burnout, constant overdoing, then collapsing. Your nervous system is stuck in that fight, flight, and freeze. And even feeling unsafe in stillness. If rest makes you anxious, chances are your body has equated slowing down with danger. So your body's wise. It remembers everything. It's trying to keep you safe. And while your mind might say, that was years ago, I'm fine, your cells may still be carrying the imprint. So none of this information is meant to scare you. It's to empower you, because once you notice, you can actually begin to shift. How do you really know if you're ready to shift? You'll know if you're tired of repeating the same patterns, no matter how much mindset work you've done. You'll also notice and be ready when your body feels heavy or tense, even when life looks good. Or you'll find yourself overreacting or shutting down without knowing why. And if you're ready, you'll crave peace and freedom more than being in control. These are signs from your body that it's time to let go. So how do we actually release the trauma? Healing happens in layers, and it always starts with safety, because without safety, the body is going to keep holding on. So here are 5 powerful ways to begin to release. Number 1, somatic movement and breath. As I said, trauma is energy. Movement, somatic means body movement. Movement helps it move out. Try shaking your arms and legs or taking belly breaths, exhaling with sound. These simple acts signal to your body that it's safe, and it's safe to discharge old energy. So breath work, yoga, shaking, simply placing a hand on your heart and your belly, these help your body discharge this stored energy. We've got to remind our nervous system that it's safe. And number 2, touch. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly and just rock. And remind yourself that you are safe. I am here and I am safe. Your nervous system responds to loving touch. especially when it's from yourself. Number 3, vocal expression. Trauma often silences us. Humming, chanting, singing, light language, even letting out primal sound helps release energy stuck in the throat and the chest. Number 4, energetic and spiritual clearing. Practices like light language or ancestral healing help release imprints stored in your energetic field. This goes beyond the physical and works at the cellular and spiritual memory level. Number 5, completing the stress cycle. So animals naturally shake or run after danger. Humans often don't. You can complete the cycle by dancing, crying, laughing, or even pounding a pillow. Let your body finish what it started. And number 6, repattering through presence. Learning to be with your sensations gently, without judgment. So this might look like sitting quietly for 2 minutes, noticing where you feel tightness, breathing love into that space. Over time, your body learns a whole new story, safety instead of fear. The key is gentleness. Release does not happen by force. It happens through safety, presence, and compassion. And remember, healing doesn't mean erasing the past. It means your body no longer has to keep reliving it. And as we close today, I want to invite you into a short light language clearing to begin feeling safe in your body, to release the trauma imprints that are ready to release. So join me. Place one hand on your heart and the other one on your lower belly. Close your eyes and just feel your body for a moment. Feel your body holding yourself. Take a deep breath in. Release. Do that one more time. And receive. Galeto, naleldo, la maleoto, le mioto, je le blaboriande, l'oreando, je le taclecadiande, diandiondo, radaplato, je le tetatorlecadianda, ondo, je le balabadiondo, ria porame, je le tole balangori, and rio core, je le balabarianga, yocore, mir, je le puamo coriasha. Geondo, je le paraparianda, riondo, riondo, je le paraparianda, rioto, je le paramone, mete, leondo, je le tedianda, rioto, je beondo, je le parabriondo. Geondo je le plabriende di etiende di tu je le prabora beko, leondo je le tedianda yoko reshi vogla beusha clicadiama koreasha wam. Leondo je tu le pelamana yanda yoko reshi le beodo calacadiamo crepesha qua. Geondo, kioso peloto je le tediondo de pelocoriesha le leombo galeoto, Lorianda je peuto de yanda yoko reshi yuko koreashi koreabaka. Leondo je de dianda yokoreshi que le peuto je le plabola bon. Garando jil para corianda di idiota. Corianda, coreshi la pravarianda di idianda di yoko de shilawam, kyoto qua. Kyoto. Take a deep breath in. Hold, come back into your body awareness. Very slowly when you're ready. Have a fantastic week.